let's talk a little bit about the Salesforce acquisition because that was obviously a big deal for you and for the company, and I think for Salesforce because this was a product that all their customers needed and wanted, and so can you maybe talk about what that process was like
Sure.
in terms of how did that even come about? They were an investor in Spiff. Was that how it came about? Was it something else? What was that process like?
Yeah, sure. And let me know if there's anything specific you want me to focus on. But so Spiff, I think we made a couple of key decisions early on with the help of Sean Jacobsohn in Norwest, one of our board members, where we had some decisions early on around, hey, do we want to involve Salesforce or not? Because with with the particular product that Spiff was building, which is a commission engine, it's, as you mentioned, it's a solution for automating commissions, motivating sales reps, and helping them to see their commissions in real time while they're building out an opportunity in a CRM or something like that. So we knew right up front, hey, we feel like this is a much bigger market. This is one of these deceptively large markets. The average company spends 10% of their entire revenue on commissions. People don't know that, but sales commissions are a gigantic part of a typical company's budget. And so we felt like this had an IPO path. We really did. Like and I don't think we would have raised money from Lightspeed and Norwest and very, very large funds if they didn't believe that we had an IPO path. So I think all of us around the table felt like there was a realistic IPO path here. But we also knew that however likely that was or wasn't, probably an even substantially larger likelihood of an outcome for an exit for Spiff was to sell to someone like a CRM vendor. And when you start to
Mm,
look at the potential acquirers at scale for a commission software platform, I mean, Salesforce is at the top of that list in every possible way. There's probably a couple of others. There's a possibility that Microsoft could get in, could want to do it. There's a possibility that Oracle already
hmm
kind of has a solution. There's a possibility for, say, a Workday or something like this. But like most CEOs, I had kind of mapped out our acquisition space, and Salesforce was by far the best and most likely acquirer. So when you have an acquisition space that's heavily slanted in the direction of one player, some alarm bells should go off in your mind because you don't want to cozy up to them too quickly because they can end up really limiting your exit outcomes, because they can basically, if they're the main buyer and you let them as an investor and they have information rights and other things, that can really, as that can really stifle the 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 desire for other vendors to look at you as an acquisition target. So early on, we had this really interesting dilemma where we're like, hey, do we want to approach them or not? And I think we came down pretty categorically on the side of yes, we want to, and we want to do it early, but we want to do it on our terms. And so we made sure that we raised money from them in very, very competitive rounds where we made it clear to them that some of their competitors were also interested in
mm,
investing in Spiff, which was true. And we welcomed them into rounds where we had, I remember for the Series A, I want to say that we had 6 or 7 very viable term sheets. And so
mm,
Salesforce wanted to put more money into that round. They wanted to put like a factor of 2 or 3 times more money into the round than we let them put into the round. And so
mm,
we felt like we were in the driver's seat, at least early on. Now, we were so lucky because that relationship ended up being the gift that kept on giving. And when SaaS markets kind of went sideways, they ended up leading our Series C. And
mm.
they had already reached out to us before that time and had expressed an interest in us as an acquisition target. So
Yep.
we knew quite early on. I mean, I would say 3 years, 3.5 years into Spiff's journey, we knew that Salesforce was pretty interested in a potential acquisition
hmm
scenario with Spiff. So so that's kind of how it came about. Now, I'll say one other thing. You might think, oh, well, the ventures team or the corp dev team of a company is where you get most of your traction for acquisition. I've, at least in this particular instance, and actually in almost every instance that I've seen where I've sold a company, um, it's actually someone in the product org or in the
Mm.
business itself that is the true driver of the acquisition. And that was true as well for Salesforce.